Bonjour et bienvenue à la toute première émission de La Pêche Média. Je suis ici aujourd'hui avec ma collègue Lisa Uchanki.
And Gillian Kirkland.
Nous allons jaser aujourd'hui en tête-à-tête avec le maire Guillaume Lamoureux.
We can talk about internet access in Edelweiss area.
Nous allons aussi parler d'une nouvelle auberge animale sur le chemin Clark.
And for some good news, we're going to meet with Bistro Rutherford's on the Christmas dinner.
Finalement, pour conclure, nous allons parler du nouveau projet de parc à Macham. Hello, we're here today with two residents of Edelweiss experiencing problems with their internet service, Sheena Gersher and Philip Warwick. Philip, I can see based on your video right now that you might not have the best connection, so let's hope that works.
I did get an unstable internet connection warning a couple of times already, so this is kind of a case in point. You know, we just have enough bandwidth for a web conference sometimes.
All right, Shayna, so if you could tell me where you live and when you first discovered that you had internet issues.
I'm Shayna, and my spouse and I moved to this wonderful picturesque spot in Edelweiss on Chemin Pine in the spring of 2019. And when we were looking for a house, the internet was a huge priority for us. So we did our research. In fact, some houses we looked at didn't even have internet connectivity, so they weren't even in the consideration. But this one we knew was serviced by Bell Canada. And so we knew, we had called Bell Canada prior to buying the house, and we knew that they advertised of speeds of up to 5 megabits per second. And we thought, we were hopeful that might be sufficient for our needs of being able to work from home at times, you know, have streaming video, and just basic internet connectivity. So we were hopeful that would be sufficient. So we knew the internet situation. We just didn't know how bad it would be at times and how unreliable it would be.
And Shayna, did you feel that you were being misled?
Yeah, they advertise speeds of up to 5 megabits per second, but often, we do speed tests and we're getting 1.3. Sometimes we get maximum 3 megabits per second. Sometimes it meets our needs, but I worked from home, like many Canadians, during the pandemic. I'm on maternity leave now, but in March through to the summer, I was working from home and I would have constant internet disruption, which really impacted my work balance. When you have disrupted service and you are video conferencing with your colleagues, or you're expected to work online to get your documents from the server, and you can't do that, then it forces you to have a broken up work schedule, which really impacts your ability to spend time with your children and to do your part in the house, cooking or whatnot, if you have to log back in to do an hour of work here and there. So it became evident to me during the pandemic just how bad of a situation it was and how much I was detesting the idea of having to work from home when I'm done my maternity leave. So this really galvanized me personally into action to try to do something in our neighborhood.
And how did the two of you realize that you were both experiencing the same problems?
So basically, Philip and I have met just because we are neighbors. We met prior to this organizing effort. And really, it was very much a grassroots effort. It started with neighbors just chatting about poor internet connectivity in the area. And then really what prompted the action was hearing that parts of Upper Edelweiss got onto Bell Canada's 5 network for these high-speed internet. And many of us were just chatting on our walks out and about. Why is it that we weren't connected? The infrastructure's already built right outside our door on Route 366. Why isn't that additional stretch connected to our homes, many of which are under a kilometer from that infrastructure that's already built? So what happened was I had volunteered among some of our neighbors to start the petition process to Bell Canada, and I then collected email addresses of Edelweiss residents and sent out a draft petition seeking interest, whether other people felt the same and wanted to lend their voice and their signature to the issue. And we ended up getting a lot of traction and interest. At the time that we sent the petition to Bell, which I can talk about after, we sent it in October, we received 29 signatures from residents in the impacted Edelweiss area. And we're still getting signatures. So we're gonna have a second round of this petition process to Bell, and we have currently 31 signatures.
Philip, can you tell us about your own experience?
Yeah, so my wife and I moved to Edelweiss from Montreal in the fall of 2019, just months before the pandemic. And both of us are professionals. Both of us were relying on a good internet service to do our work even before the pandemic started. So before we moved, we checked into the internet options, and because Chemin Basque, it's a very short little road. It's kind of the beginning of perhaps a longer road, but we're the first house on Chemin Basque, and in fact, there was not even a copper connection to our house. Never mind fiber. So Bell was not even able to tell us what kind of service was going to be possible because we didn't appear on their database. One of the companies tech savvy that make use of the Bell infrastructure were able to quote us a price for supposedly 50 megabits per second, and we thought that sounded great. We had been used to 60 megabits per second in Montreal, and that was kind of like standard. And we thought that would just maintain things more or less at our status quo. Well, a few days or weeks, I guess, after we moved in, the tech savvy is reliant on Bell to do the actual physical connection. So they ran the wire up from the road and did the first tests, and I was hoping maybe get somewhere close to the nominal rate. And he said, "Yeah, you're probably gonna peak out around 6 megabits per second, and maybe even 4." And my expectations have gone steadily down from there.
And Shana, do you know why the internet service was provided on one side of the highway and not the other side of the highway?
Yeah, that's the question. That's the golden question right there. And, you know, in our conversation with Bell, so I should backtrack and just say that when we sent Bell the petition, which was basically asking that Bell complete its job and connect our neighboring homes to the infrastructure located just outside our doors. And should they choose not to, then many of its existing clients will feel compelled to ask for a reduced rate to reflect the dismal service that they are receiving. So that was, in a nutshell, the petition. And shortly after, Bell Canada's customer relations got in touch with me, and you know, I asked them whether we were on their schedule for this upcoming year for 2021 to be connected, and they couldn't give us an answer. They basically said we're not on schedule, and they didn't give us a reason why. And when I tried to probe further, you know, we weren't given any clear answer as to their business decision why one area was completed and ours was left off.
And so, Shana, you've been in contact with SpaceX Starlink, and can you tell me what is needed for them to provide internet service here?
So with SpaceX, so we didn't necessarily contact SpaceX. Instead, what we did was we found out that the municipality was holding this special meeting on December 23rd, talking about attracting SpaceX to La Pêche. And so Philip, myself, and some others in our neighborhood attended the call just to see, is this a project that we might benefit from? Like what was the municipality proposing? As we understood, based on the call, the municipality wants to apply to the federal government for some of those funds that I talked about, to see whether they can get 75%, a 75% subsidy to pay for the costs of SpaceX's terminals, because they're quite pricey. So they're about over $600 to get one of these terminals. So the municipality is trying to get the funds to subsidize 75% of the cost for up to 196, was it? Or 100 and, I can't remember how many homes they want to, 196 homes in La Pêche.
Yeah, 196 homes, yeah.
Philip, what would you like to see happen at the municipality to improve internet connectivity to your neighborhood?
It's a complicated question because obviously La Pêche is a large area and the service is not uniform. There are areas that have bad service like us. There are areas that have no service, at least no wired service, and are dependent on the horrible satellite Xplornet, which you can't really use for conversations because of the delay. And so I see that the municipality is devoting a lot of time and energy and funds to this. But the transparency of the municipality is, I can't fault them, but still, when it comes down to what is going to happen for Edelweiss, it's a huge question mark.
How can the residents in this area voice their concerns about the internet issues here?
Yeah, I mean, for one, this publicity is very helpful because it will keep the issue a priority issue in the municipality, which we know it is a priority issue, but certainly, it also helps hopefully send our message to people that can also spur action and then maybe compelled to finish the job. So publicity is good. And also, if you're a resident in our neck of the woods, you're welcome to join our efforts as well. But I would encourage anybody in La Pêche who's suffering through bad internet speeds to start their own organizing and petition process. What we started was, contacting our local telecom providers in the area. And for us, mostly it was Bell Canada, and trying to get, in touch with the highest level that we can go, and contact them regularly, to get them to put us on their schedule for, completing the work to get us high-speed internet. And if they don't do it, which was in the case for us, they couldn't commit to doing or completing the job, then the second action for many of us was to then demand and negotiate a reduced rate. And we would suggest that any resident do that. Organize locally, reach out to the telecom provider that services your area. If they can't commit to getting you improved internet speeds, then go the next step and demand a discount and ask for a price that reflects your poor service. It's the least that we can do as paying customers.
Thank you, Shana and Philip, for your time.
Thank you.